Hey, good night, everybody. Sure appreciate all of you guys being here on the call with us. It's a great opportunity for us to be able to be together tonight. I'm going to be talking a little bit about a company that's new, groundbreaking stuff. This is an awesome opportunity for us to be in the beginning, learning about this from its inception. And you know, there's always opportunities for us to learn, grow, be better, to move forward. And you know, I'm pretty fired up about where we're going here. So welcome again to our call. Let me get started here because I want to be respectful of y'all's time, being able to move forward. So I'm just going to share my screen with you, and we'll get ourselves started. So you should be able to see my screen. The name of the company that we have is called Infinity5 Health, and I'll explain the 5. Of course, Infinity, just like my own company logo, right? The infinity sign down on the right-hand corner. This is about never ending, or being able to sort of rejuvenate, keep going for as long as possible. The notion of health, Infinity5 Health, and to create potentially, if you're interested in that, residual income in your own life, which can be generational in nature. So there's multiple notions of what infinity means. 5 health is, I'll demonstrate the 5 here in just a second as we go along. Now, the founders of the company. 2 great individuals, one named John Taylor. He is the chief formulator and chief science officer. Awesome, awesome man, super great science technician, tactician, etc. Has been a formulator for lots of different companies, lots of different kinds of products, but understands the ins and the outs of how to be able to move forward. And his passion, of course, is to help people have better health and wellness. Renee is my good friend and has become my good friend, and he is the president and CEO of the company and has integrity like crazy. Now, these 2 individuals were part of, together a few years back, a company or a team actually that created a $100 million organization. And just to give you an idea about that, the Direct Sellers Association, which is home to literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of direct selling companies, a $100 million organization, not the whole company, but just their organization, $100 million would be in the Direct Sellers Association in the top 90 in that whole thing. So this is like the GDP of California being, you know, compared to the gross domestic product of multiple countries, right? It's huge. Well, these guys built a team of $100 million. So these guys have been there, done that, know what they're doing, know what they're talking about, and they started this company called Infinity5 Health for us to be able to have a great opportunity to moving forward in health and wellness, and potentially, if you're interested, wealthness as we move forward. So if you want to get more information while I'm talking, which you likely will, or you want to get some more information after we're done here, the website is Infinity5Health.com. Infinity5, the number 5, health.com. So what are we doing here really? Well, if you think about your health, right? It's if you or anyone you know eat cooked or processed foods, let me tell you what the long-term benefits of that. So I don't want to scare you, right? So I want to talk about the long-term benefits of eating cooked or processed foods. Totally cool. Things like the digestive distress and weight gain and premature aging, diabetes, cancer, heart disease, and a whole host of other benefits, challenges, right, in your life. So there's a product called Better 5. That's the launch product of Infinity5 Health, right? And this is what the bottle looks like. You have a picture of it down there on the screen. It's capsules, right? And I'll describe to you exactly what this is here in just a second. But right on their website, you can see exactly what the ingredients are, right? The supplement fact. So there's, for 1 capsule in here, right? This is all of the stuff that's in there. Now, what does all of that actually mean? Well, what that means is that we have whole food nutrition, 100% whole food nutrition. I may be thinking, well, why would I care? I totally get nutrition, but what does whole foods have to do with anything? Well, your current health is directly related to what you put in, put on, and surround yourself, your body with. What you put in, what you put in, on, and around your body. That's what this is really all about. You are not, like my mom told me when I was a kid, you are what you eat. And apparently that's scientifically been proven to not be true. You are what you are able to break down, digest, and absorb. Wait, that's very different than what you are is what you eat. Wait, I've been eating all kinds of stuff, but if I couldn't break it down, digest it, or absorb it, then it became likely something not super cool, like toxins and so forth. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But the body, your body, when you ingest something, the body only recognizes whole foods, not fractionated, synthetic, genetically engineered foods, vitamins, and minerals. Your body cannot recognize that. Now, if you think about, well, so if I put something in there, what happens to it? The body can't recognize it. Well, ultimately, what happens in our health is that our body tries to decode and then deal with, in some reasonable way, the stuff that we put in. So that's why we're tired a lot. We're tired a lot because our body is trying to figure out what they have to do with the stuff we put in it, on it, and around it. Now, healthcare providers, in regards to whole food nutrition, healthcare providers agree that we are overfed, like we have thousands and thousands of calories a day, mostly empty calories. And even though we have all of those calories, we're overfed, but we are undernutritioned, right? We're undernourished. So the contributors to this challenge of malnourishment are things like soil depletion. People are growing food in ground that doesn't have all of the minerals and so forth necessary to create a healthy fruit or vegetable, right? So it's kind of crazy, right? Soil depletion. Looks good, smells good, feels good in the store on the shelf, but in reality, it doesn't have a lot of health benefit to it. Now, what else is a contributor to the challenge of malnourishment? Processing our food, processed foods. Lots of foods today have a shelf life of about, I'm making this up a little bit, right? But thousands of years, a half-life of 1,000 years, like, you know, so like a nuclear bomb or something, right? And when we process foods and we stick it and it can last like 6 months, a year, 2 years, and doesn't start to break down, I mean, there's lots of, the processing of it creates food that's not nutritional, but it will last a long time. The non-nutritional food will last a long time, but not very healthy. And of course, lastly, cooking our food. And that's what I said before. If you or anyone you know eats cooked or processed foods, there's going to be some challenges. Well, now this is exactly why that's true. So the better 5 steps to health and wellness look like this. There's 19 digestive enzymes, whole food nutrients, chelated minerals, antioxidants, probiotics, and prebiotics, all in a capsule. Which means if you take that capsule, your body is going to be able to handle whatever goes into it and be able to break it down, digest it, eliminate it if it's not going to help us, right? We don't want it to turn into toxins. And it will actually be able to help our body absorb what we're doing. So even if you're eating foods that have a healthy nutritional value to them, if they're not immediately bioavailable, your body is still not going to be able to get it. And you'll have what I would call expensive urine, right? So it's just kind of the way it is. Now, what else is here? Everything in here is natural. Carrot juice, flaxseed, and bee pollen, and blue-green algae, and sarsaparilla, and vitamin C, etc. You can read this as well as I can talk, right? All of these things come 100% natural. There's no preservatives in any of what it is that we're talking about here. Even the capsule itself does not have preservatives in it. That is to say, if you were to take this, set a capsule out on a shelf, and come back in, I don't know how much time, but let's say 6 months to a year, the likelihood that capsule is going to start breaking down is pretty high. So it's kind of an interesting thing that we have in our products here. Even the capsule itself is not toxic in nature. In fact, there's non-GMO, 100% vegetarian compliant, gluten-free. So literally anyone can take this product to be able to move forward. Now, I do want to just say a couple caveats, right? If you have children, young children, or if you're pregnant, then you want to make sure to check with your doctor to make sure everything's okay. But this is a whole food. This is whole food nutrition rather than finding some super cool ingredient underneath the only rock on the planet that was touched by lightning in the 24th century AD and all. This is science. This is the science of creating whole food so that our bodies can be well fed, right, and not malnourished like we have in our other kinds of things. Now, what does that mean? To get started? Well, there's no enrollment kits to buy. How do I get started? Somebody asked me yesterday, how do I get started? Well, there's no enrollment kits to buy. So you don't have to buy a whole bunch of stuff that you don't need, right, or more than you need. What does that mean? That means you can enroll in this with a purchase of 1 to 3 bottles of Better 5. So you can enroll for as little as 75. So for 75 bucks, you can become a retail customer. You get 1 bottle of Better 5, which is a month's supply. There's no auto ship necessary if you enroll this way. Oh, I just want to try the stuff. I don't want any obligations or any of that. Okay, good. 1 bottle, $75. No auto ship, no compensation plan, no pressure, no bugging. You don't have to share with your family, friends, or neighbors or anything else. Just take the product, totally legit. 75 bucks, retail price. Now, if you want that cost to go down to $60, you would become what I would call a preferred customer, which means you're going to get 1 bottle of Better 5. You can enroll on auto ship. That's why the price went down. And you can participate in the compensation plan. Now, the details of that, whoever invited you to the call can show you exactly what that looks like, et cetera, as we move forward. So, but you can participate. For 60 bucks, you can start a business. That's pretty legit. You get a product and a business if that's what you want to be able to do. You can participate in the compensation plan. Now, the last way you can get in is the $150 business builder, or maybe even you might want to say the family plan, because you can receive 3 bottles for the price of 2, and you can participate in the compensation plan, which I'm going to explain here in just a second. So if you came here tonight thinking, man, I'd like to have better health, or my friend Bob or Susie or whoever said, hey, go listen to this guy. He talks really super fast, but he'll explain to you what the products are about so that you can evaluate, man, do I want those benefits that of what Better 5 does for me? Do I want that in my world? If yes, that conversation is now over, right? Because look, it took me 13 minutes to explain to you why it is that you might care about the products today, the product that we offer. And you can be able to take advantage of $75 retail, $60 as a preferred customer, $150 as a business builder, or the family plan, as I like to call it, and you can move forward. Now you know exactly what it is we're doing right now, and I would invite you to go to Infinity5, the number 5 health, Infinity5Health.com, and you can get as much information about that as you want to be able to make that work. Okay, so that's the product side. Now, if you think, man, you know what? I'd like to be able to make some money. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. My bills are more than my income. It's kind of a thing. I'm going backwards every month, etc. Then we got a way for you to be able to move forward. So there's a compensation plan associated with this. It's a 3x10 managed matrix. So there's no other structures. No other structures exist in the whole deal. So for example, there's no binary, right, which is a one-side, two-side thing, right, with a unilevel leadership qualification situation. We don't have that here at all. So we actually have somebody who's asking a question. If I can get to it, we'll be in business. So question is, the price of 2 bottles is $120, not $150, just FYI. Thank you, Michelle. 2 bottles at $75, right? 2 retail price bottles is $150. So thank you for the clarification. I appreciate that. So 3x10 managed matrix, right? And that's all there is. There isn't anything else. No other thing I got to manage. Where are people and how are they getting there and what do I do and all of that stuff. And I'll have some more details about that in just a second. But the total compensation is 5% for every person on every level down to 10. Down to 10 levels. Now, if you're to do the math, right, the 3x10 managed matrix has 88,573 positions in it. Now, you don't have to fill all 88,000, but if all 88,000 positions got filled, right, that would be totally amazing. 5% for every person on every level down to 10. So that's like the enormous view of what it is we're talking about here. Now, if you actually want to build a business, if you want to construct what you know your future, develop your future, then we can, let me just give you some additional information here. Okay, so you don't need to rely on other people for maintaining, achieving or maintaining leadership levels. So if I get in the business and I enroll somebody, I help my neighbor or my friend or my mom or whatever enroll in the business, I don't have to help, they don't have to achieve a leadership level, double aquamarine, ruby encrusted ambassador, cosmic diamond, in order to be able to get paid. We don't have that. So I don't have to rely on other people to achieve a leadership level in order for me to be able to continue to get paid. The total compensation, like I just told you before, 5% every person down to 10. Now, what does that look like? Well, this is the look of what that means. I told you there's two different ways to be able to make this happen. There's a $60 plan and there's a $150 plan. So these are the levels of the business. So on essentially you get paid for yourself, which is totally cool. So that's me, right? I enroll 3 people. It's a 3x10. I enroll 3 people. And if those people are on the $150 plan, I would make $22.50 from that level. Plus, I would get $7.50 for my own. Now, so those 3 people enroll 3 people, a 3x10, right? Then there would be 9 people on that level, right? Or 9 and 3 are 12, plus me is 13 people in my organization. And on this level, I would make an additional $67.50 added to these 2. Okay, so we're adding, right, as we go along here, down to, where you're actually going to be able to make some pretty good bank. Now, here's what I mean by that. I enroll 3 people. What is the idea here? The idea here is for you to share with 3 other people. Share with 3 people. Do you know 3 families who might be eating cooked or processed foods? If yes, good. Do you think those 3 families know 3 families? If yes, awesome. Here's how to be able to enroll and be able to get the nutrition that you need to make your life work for as little as $60, right, for 1 person, $150 for 3. That's $50 a person to get the nutrition that you're able to need. Now, if you have about 350 people or so, right, you would be on this level right here. If everybody's on the $150 plan, right, you'll be making about $2,700. Now, if you have about 1,000 people in an organization, you would be on what I would call level 6. And people on the $150 plan, you make about $8,000. Now, you don't have to enroll everybody. You don't have to, but you do need to enroll some, right, so that you can get the ball rolling here. But at the end of the day, this level right here, from my perspective, is where most people's lives financially would get changed. Between $3,000 and $8,000, most people, their life would get changed. $8,400, $8,300 and some change, right, becomes $100,000 income. This income right here is very close to a 6-figure income. That's pretty awesome, 6-figure annualized income. And of course, it can be as big as you want, right? If you want to be able to make $664,000 in a month, right, you totally can do it. That would be having the 88,000 people, all of the positions filled. You'd be making about just over, or wait, I'm sorry, not quite, 2/3 of $1 million a month in income. It's totally incredible what we're talking about here. So it's kind of amazing. Now, are you going to get to 88,000 next week? No. Next month? No. Probably not next year. No. Probably not in 2 years. But think about the possibilities of what this actually could create. The possibility is amazing. Now, I'm just saying, we would like to help you, to help yourself, to help others to do the same. That's what Infinity5 Health actually looks like. It's totally amazing when you start thinking about the possibilities here. Now, compensation continued. Sponsorship doesn't matter. There's dynamic compression from the bottom. So if you got a 0-point position, people will push from the bottom up into those positions so that you can make your life work. There's no points to count, no conversions to make. Let's see, I spent $1 and but the points are only 75 cents on every dollar, and now I got to convert. Now all of the numbers are out in the open. It's 1 for 1. You spend $1, you get essentially you get a point, right? A point for $1, it's the same thing. Points and dollars here mean exactly the same thing. Pays out weekly. Orders end on Friday, every Friday, because it pays weekly, every Friday, 11:59 p.m. Pacific time, right? The payout comes the following Thursday. So there's a little lag because we want to make sure that all of the orders process through the merchant account, our merchant account, and your bank, and we pay you out the following Thursday, okay? So pays out 50% every week, guaranteed. 50% every week, guaranteed. So no need to worry about point values or what points count or qualifications or depth credit or the company taking their expenses, and then whatever happens to be left, they pay us out, hopefully pay us out. And you really don't ever have to build or create qualified leadership positions in width or depth, i.e. you don't have to have a silver in your front line and then 2 bronzes and different legs or 50% of your points coming from one side or the other. It's just pretty straight up easy. There's no need to rely on other people to achieve or maintain leadership levels like I told you before. So I would just ask you right now, just decide really right now. If you want to work for a small time, now I'm not talking about a week, I'm not talking about a day, I'm not talking about an hour in terms of small time, but think about the rest of your life. If you're 50 years old, you're going to get to work for the next 15, probably 20 years of your life. I would say work for a small time. Let's say 2, 3, 4 years. Work for a small time so you don't have to work for a long time. Right now, I would just tell you, build a network. More products are on the way. This is what we're starting with. Better 5 is where we're starting. There'll be more products will be introduced as the network grows, and more opportunity and incentives are coming. That's what we do. That's what I do to be able to help you make your life work better, be able to move your life, in fact, even forward. So I would say if you have any questions, comments, concerns, observations, I'm going to unmute you all, or you can unmute yourself, of course. If you have a question, a comment, concern, an observation or something, then let me know. And there's a chat down on the bottom, down here on the bottom of the screen, there's a chat. You can ask your question. If you have a question, awesome. Let us know what that is. And if you don't, then man, we so appreciate your time. 24 minutes to be able to teach you how to have better health and wealthness, both in 24 minutes. This is not complicated to describe to people. If you need more information, Infinity5 Health, Infinity, the number 5 health.com. Go there, get the information you need, get back with the person that invited you to the call here tonight. We love you. We appreciate you. We want to help you. Our mission is to help more families have better health and make more money, both of those things in shorter amounts of time. So thank you, everybody, for being on the call. If there's no questions or anything, so I appreciate you guys, and I look forward to talking to you very soon.